Don't delay Santa's on his way. So get your stockings up. Time for Christmas Day. Don't dismay, throw your cares away. It's gonna be okay. Finally it's Christmas. Finally it's Christmas. Feels like we've been waiting all year. Finally it's Christmas. Can't you feel the Christmas time cheer?
With Christmas, you have this very unique seasonal, moment that a huge part of the world actually does do at the same time. And what's happened with the world as we've all curated our playlists and when we're going to watch Netflix, we've gotten more and more separated. It's in some ways kind of sad. Technology has allowed us to be so connected and then so separated. And I think that's one of the things that's really unique about the holidays, the Christmas holidays, this end of year is it's a time of year where a huge group of people, millions and millions and millions, truly stop and begin to do the same thing, begin to have those shared experiences again, to sit around the table, to see friends and family. And it's a great opportunity to forge those connections with people. And as artists, it's an opportunity for us to say, well, what is the song that we want to, share in this moment? Like, what is the experience that we want to share in this moment? And for community, it's really amazing to watch people share, with each other, and you just maybe put a song in there that becomes a theme, like the Christmas sweaters. People wearing that Christmas sweaters. You drop that in, and then the community that is actually sharing that experience, they decide what becomes tradition. Mm.
One of the things we wanted to do on this record was play a little bit to the classic sort of carols and songs you sing on your way to Grandma's house. And so we said, well, let's get our kids and let's sort of have them all sing it, because the mix of 3-year-olds and 9-year-olds and 5-year-olds and 12-year-olds, it kind of creates this sound that is undeniable. Like, even if you don't have a lot of kids, like you hear that in your head. It's like a memory that we're all born with, of like, children singing these songs. And so that was one thing that was, I think, important and came out really cool, just to have a piece of Rudolph in there,
piece of Jingle Bells.
Well, when you've been a band as brothers for this long, it's hard to think what that would be like not to be in that situation. So for us, family, music, touring, even the holidays, I mean, the experiences are very fused together. A Christmas song or tradition in our family, may arrive on the album, and that's the process. But the music is really always what's kept, us together. And the brother side of things, I think, really comes forward when you talk about a Christmas record.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
It's hard to select. It is definitely hard to select Christmas songs that have not, that are both known but have not been just completely killed. And that's part of why you take liberties when you rearrange songs. You know, you're doing cover songs for the most part.
Yeah.
And it's tricky to walk the line of adding something that's a little different while being true to what's been done. And we feel like we picked, you know, a selection that was really true to the songs we could do really well.
Yeah.
And that we could bring our own flavor to while tipping our hat to, you know, the traditions that people know.
Our joke has been that it won't be till we have grandkids who are 5 years old that we make another Christmas album.
It's generational.
You know.
Each generation we make a new
But
Christmas
you know, it could be another 20 years, and there we go.
Yeah. Then it'll probably be very croonery at that point.
The BPMs just go down about 10 BPMs every album.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, hey man, we're evolving over
And so
time.
do the
man.
keys.
Yeah.
The keys go down too.
1, 2, 3.
Peace on earth. Goodwill towards men. There's a newborn king, born in Bethlehem. Singing peace on earth. Goodwill towards men. There's a newborn king, born in Bethlehem.
Maybe the thing we all can identify with around Christmas is that it's a time of year where we're all allowed to be a better version of ourselves,
Yeah.
and not feel shy about it or feel like embarrassed. We simply can take time and go, I want to think about you. And what would you really want? What would bring you happiness, even if it's for a moment of joy with a game in the kitchen, you know, or it's volunteering for the Salvation Army or a charity, or, you know, like we all take a minute and we kind of get to live up to this better version of ourselves where we think about others a little more, and that's beautiful. And it's kind of why, you know, finally it's Christmas is this sort of tongue-in-cheek statement, like we're thinking about Christmas all year long, but really I think at the heart of that is we all want to be that version of ourselves that we get to be around Christmas, right? We walk around with a bigger smile and a scarf and a warm coffee, you know, and we sort of think about the party, and it's usually a good time of year for people, maybe Christmas bonus, and you get to think about like the vacation, going home to mom's house, or so it's kind of, I love that. That's beautiful. Gosh, I don't know exactly when the tradition of ugly sweaters started. It was at least 10 years ago.
Really, ugly Christmas sweaters became sort of it took a full turn from actually being tacky to becoming, I think, really since early 2000s, like it became a thing. I know in our group of friends, and then I think all over, you know, the sweater's so bad that I have to wear it. It almost becomes hip to wear the bad Christmas sweater.
A few years back, we even wrote a song about how much we love ugly Christmas sweaters. And after doing that...
Called My Favorite Christmas Sweater.
We went to go make this album, and we just said, we've got to include ugly Christmas sweaters. It's one of our little traditions as the band. And we've made faux Hanson Christmas sweaters, T-shirts, and we even made like a full-on printed Christmas sweater this year. It was awesome.
Truth be told, we probably need to like re-release that song, like remix it or something like that. Put it on the Christmas record next year.
My favorite Christmas sweater. That's classic.
Google it right now.
You know, now, like as you see these stages in your life, it's an incredible tool to be able to write not just a song about the way you feel when you're 8, you know, and the way you're 18 and the way you're 23 and now 32, but also to see the influence that your kids growing up has on you, and the music you want to write, and the things you want to share, and the stories. I think of a song like Happy Christmas. I mean, in a way, to me, that's the song that we put on there for our kids and for, you know, your kids, you know, the other people's kids who say, you're an adult now, you love toys, and you love gifts, and you love cool technology, but in the end, it's really about the spirit of caring for someone else and giving to someone else. That's the only thing that's going to last, because your TV's going to get outdated, and you know it's cool now, and you'll want a new one next year, but you won't want a new dad, and you won't want a new, you know, to replace your brother or your best friend.
But you might want to replace your brother.
Well, it's possible.
Yeah,
okay, I take it back. You won't want a new dad. You'll probably want a new brother. You won't want a new best friend, because those bonds you build are the thing that's priceless.
Yeah.
Cam, get out.
The other thing about our band is having 3 vocalists and 3 players. You know, it changes the way you arrange things, and it gives you the ability to do things that a lot of rock bands you don't hear. I mean, the Doobie Brothers did it. You know, I mean, Three Dog Night, you had vocalists and players. You have the Beatles, but you don't often hear strong harmonies and a band that can dig in. And we try and use everything in our arsenal. So with the Christmas record, and you know, we treat it as an album, not as a period piece that we're doing, like we're transitioning to becoming some other band. We're saying, well, Hanson, as we are, which is focused on craft and harmony and taking people through the highs and lows. How would we do Christmas? You know, not how would Christmas do Hanson? You know, sort of the other way around. But and so I think the journey of going into the process of making a record always has to have that criteria of one, are we proud enough to live with this for the rest of our lives?
Yes.
Because it's got our name
Rule number
on it.
one. Yeah.
And absolutely, like the authenticity of it, the organic qualities of hearing a real instrument and feeling, you know, the energy and the dynamics that you get from that.
Once we get Santa on his sleigh, we may rock and roll for Christmas and New Year's Day. We run round 1 week a year, we do it right. We may rock and roll for Christmas and New Year's night.
One of the really defining things about the internet that we've experienced is the exchange with us and the audience. When there was no internet, it was a one-way channel. You said something, people responded, maybe they sent you a letter. You know, we got a lot of letters back when people sent letters. But the difference today is that the audience has a voice. The audience can say, I like that, immediately. They can say, I like that, and I know someone else that likes that. Oh, you like that. And you can talk to each other. And the strength of that community is really a huge part of what has allowed Hanson to succeed over the last 20 years, to be an independent band, you know, to forge our own label, to do special events. But that idea that it's bigger than Hanson, it's bigger than, you know, the thing you're making for people. It's really about everybody sharing together and gathering together and connecting with each other and sharing that passion that they have. And our job is simply to continue to be authentic and to continue to share things that don't betray that trust, that don't betray that community, that they're going to tell you if you took a left turn at Albuquerque and they're not interested in it. They can say, hey, I'm out. And right now, you know, all over the planet, you know, the ability to just go, here's an idea, here's something that we care about. Every time you put out a product, every time you do a tour, your job is really to just keep that fire and keep that relationship, and really invite community to take it and run with it. The fusion of being brothers and being in a band, I mean, that is just how we've lived our lives. Yeah. You know, music brings you together, and music is kind of the thing that continues to join us. But with this record, it is a little bit more of our family to your family, because you do listen through and you hear, you know, us, you know, between a song we've written to singing Jingle Bells and singing Rudolph with our kids right here in this room. the same way that we, think a lot of people probably do, drive into grandma's house, and it was our way of putting in a few songs that maybe we weren't going to do with all the shimmer, but we wanted to slip in there because it's something that everybody has in their tradition.
I think for us, even our history together, our shared influences, the years, the inside jokes, getting to come back and make this record again with Mark Hudson, who we made albums with 20 years ago, all of a sudden, I think you feel a little bit of that spirit inside the recording. It sort of leaves its DNA there, and something that's sort of, it's hard to put into words. It's something you just hear. Maybe the thing we all can identify with around Christmas is that it's a time of year where we're all allowed to be a better version of ourselves, and not feel shy about it or feel embarrassed. We simply can take time and go, I want to think about you. And what would you really want? What would bring you happiness, even if it's for a moment of joy with a game in the kitchen, or it's volunteering for the Salvation Army or a charity, or we all take a minute and we kind of get to live up to this better version of ourselves where we think about others a little more, and that's beautiful. And it's kind of why finally it's Christmas is this sort of tongue-in-cheek statement, we're thinking about Christmas all year long. But really, I think at the heart of that is we all want to be that version of ourselves that we get to be around Christmas, right? We walk around with a bigger smile and a scarf and a warm coffee, and we sort of think about the party, and it's usually a good time of year for people, maybe Christmas bonus, and you get to think about the vacation, going home to mom's house, or so it's kind of, I love that. That's beautiful.
We're in a really good place as a band. 25 years in, 20 years since most people knew us, and we're all still very interested in the future. And I think that the biggest thing about continuing to be a band is not necessarily knowing what you're going to do, but knowing that you do want to continue to chase it, right? And because the interest and the mystery is really the thing that gets a creative person excited, right? I do know that after this year's, celebration of anniversary and the Christmas record, we're already thinking about next year, and definitely going to do a special tour. We've got some tricks up our sleeves that I think will get fans excited.
Yeah, for sure.
And really, I think more than anything, it's the feeling that we don't have any rules. You're always interested in quality, interested in making records that you would be proud of no matter what. But these days, with where the business is, the connection we've been able to have with so many fans, it's really deeper than just a pop song, but it's really a community sense. A lot of fans that really feel a part of, coming out to shows and have had a long relationship with the band. We feel like we're at a point where we can try things. We can collaborate. We can do things that are unexpected, and it's not like people don't know where we've been. That we've already laid the groundwork. So I think all bets are off. We're just excited about the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.